Happy Facebook Live time. Welcome to Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. Thanks for joining me, whether you're here live on Facebook or joining me on YouTube or for the replay. I'm so happy to be here to share with you today. I got some fun in store. I have three fun projects for you. It focused on sneak peeks from the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle for January. And that tutorial bundle is featuring the, what's it called? Dang. It's the Valentine's Suite in the holiday catalog. I'm just going to show it to you. It's called the From My Heart Suite. And it starts here, very Valentine's-y. The projects that I'm doing today are not necessarily Valentine's, although they are focused very much on love, if you will. Lots of hearts involved. And so I've got three projects, one 3D thing, and two cards. And again, these are sneak peeks of the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle, which if you haven't heard of that before, it's I collaborate with 7 other demonstrators. Somebody else coordinates it and organizes it. And we each design something every month focused on a given suite in the catalog. And then that tutorial bundle, the set of 8 tutorials, is available and we can give it to our customers as we see fit. So for my customers, if you're a newsletter subscriber, you can get it free with a $35 purchase. If you're one of my team members, you get it free every month automatically. And it's really pretty awesome. So I will be showing you again 3 projects, 1 3D thing and 2 cards. One of them is my contribution to the tutorial bundle. Before I do that, I wanted to cover a little bit of news or business, if you will, just general announcements. And what I wanted to talk about is the ways that I thank and reward people that engage with my business, because you have to have a customer base and a following in order to have a successful business. And I'm sort of developing that more and more as I do this more and more. And so I have ways for everybody who participates in my business to be rewarded. So for an example, new customers, if you buy anything, no matter how small it is and whether you use the hostess code or not, you can get the free card kit program kits, all 3 of them, that for the first order. So this is a new thing that I'm doing. So for anybody that purchases from me, I want you to get something from me, feel rewarded, and feel thanked. So, and then that also gives you an opportunity as a first-time purchaser to see what my free card kits are all about. Now, the free card kits are designed after what I offer for my clubs. I'm going to talk about my clubs in just a bit, because the clubs have really been a mainstay for my business. My club members get hostess rewards, and I've always had in-person clubs. I love my clubs and my club members. I get to know these women and just love them and appreciate them for coming back again and again and being loyal. So anyway, so new customers, if you purchase anything, you get rewarded. And then if you're an occasional purchaser, you can also get free card kits. There are certain thresholds, purchase levels at which you get those free card kits. And if you're a consistent purchaser, that's where you start getting into sort of the better rewards, if you will. So I just started my new Loyalty Leaves Rewards program. So for every $50 in merchandise that you purchase, you get a leaf, sort of to go along with my treehouse theme. And once you get 10 leaves, you get $50 in free merchandise from me. So it's kind of my way of allowing you to get hostess rewards on your purchases without hosting a party and without doing a big order necessarily. So that's my Loyalty Leaves program. And then I have my clubs, and I really want to focus on my clubs. So my in-person clubs, like I said, mainstay, bread and butter of my business since the very beginning. 16 years ago, I had a club when I first started, and I still have clubs. So I have in-person clubs, and now I have some online clubs. If you receive my newsletter, I talked a little bit about my 2 online clubs. One is based on the projects that we do in my in-person events, and it's really a wide range of projects. So I do 3 different projects, but what I have always done is they're each very different. I always want all 3 to be a different color scheme completely, different stamp sets. I want to show a breadth of things to my customers who are coming because there are different interests and desires. So it's a wide range of products and projects, and that just makes it really fun. So my intention, if you are participating in an online sort of way, whether it's free card kits or through a club, is that with those particular projects, you're more than likely taking your own stamps and customizing that project. So my kit is really a jumping off point for you to create something of your own. Now, if you have the same thing, you can create it exactly as is, of course, but a lot of times people don't because I'm offering 3 different projects, 3 very different sets of colors and stamps. So that's kind of my mainstay club. It's the basis of my free card kit program and my in-person and my online club. And the third thing, or the other thing, is my technique club. So I started last June doing technique classes, and the technique classes are a completely different approach. So it's one interesting, in-depth technique where we take a deep dive into that one particular project. And it's probably more likely a similar color scheme throughout. It may be the same stamp set, or in the last class that I did, the cotton candy class, we use lots of different stamps. But I do offer suggestions for different stamps you can use, and it's intended to be, like I said, a deep dive, so you can really try something interesting and experiment with lots of different ways to do the technique. I give lots of tips and tricks, and that is exclusive content. So the free card kit program and my online club, the regular online club, are videos that are available to the public. So I have those on YouTube. But my technique club is exclusive just to those who participate in that. And I put all, sort of my heart and soul into those classes, spend a lot of time on it. Not that I don't for the other projects, I do very much there, but they're public as opposed to the technique club, which is private and exclusive. So I am starting up new clubs right now. So they're going to begin in February. The online clubs, my in-person clubs, are ongoing. Oh, I'm so glad you like the technique club, Sally. Yay. And so they're starting in February. So I'm offering an incentive right now, both for the online club, which is the 3 projects with great breadth, and the technique club, which is great depth and more focused. It's because they start in February. So if you sign up for either one of those 2 clubs, either the online club or the technique club, by the 21st of February, you'll get a little perk from me. So each one is some product that you'll get from me for signing up by that date. Now, I've structured the clubs so that they're the online versions so that they're really easy for anybody to participate. I don't have to have a minimum of 3 people or 5 people or whatever. You can just jump right in and you get free product when you join a club at the end of the club cycle, both for the technique club and for the regular online club. So that's one of the ways that's the main way that you get rewarded when you join a club, because that's really loyalty. You're showing commitment to me, and I so appreciate that because it's really important to the success of my business. So that is pretty much all I have to say about that. I will have links in the Facebook description and in the YouTube description with details about both the regular online club and the technique club, so you can check that out and sign up and play along with me with these wonderful projects and classes that I teach. I so appreciate it. So without further ado, let's talk about the projects that I'm going to show you today. Again, I'm using the we're focusing for the tutorial bundle the From My Heart suite. Now, I did not buy the stamp set for this suite. We were given the option to feature some of the products in this general vicinity in the catalog. So I'm going to show you, we had a range of pages. We could go up to page 13. So my project in particular uses this die right here, the detailed heart dies. So I bought that instead of buying the stamp set because I thought that would be just fun to play with. And then we were also allowed to use this Grace's Garden. Now I didn't use it for this, but I did play with it and had so much fun that I decided I have to do a class for that Grace's Garden bundle because it's just so amazing. So for the first, I'm going to show you my project first, and let's just show you close up the Detailed Hearts die. It's really, really pretty cool die. So, and then I'm also going to be using a sentiment from the Parisian Beauty stamp set. So just a fabulous sentiment, which I love. So what I've done is I've die cut from using that Detailed Hearts die out of 3 colors. So I've done, this is obviously the negative space, the positive space. Let's do the same color. So that's the real red. And then I've done one in 2 other colors, so white and Flirty Flamingo, which is the color scheme of the designer paper in that designer paper. So anyway, so I'm going to use, I've created 2 different cards, one that's finished and one that I'm going to show in front of you. And so I'm going to turn the camera face down and show you what I got in store. Go. All right. So I'm also going to be showing you a project made with the little ladybug. I'm really excited about that one. I honestly wasn't really excited about that ladybug to start with, and once I started playing with, oh my gosh. So I think you're really going to like what these projects. They're just all of them. Okay, so for this first one, like I said, I cut out the full thing, and then I cut it down so that I basically cut off this top portion. So here are the other 2 that I've used. So I've cut off that top segment. You'll find that there's sort of strategic spots that you can cut it off. So here, that's the only spot where it's attached, right there where my thumb is. So I just trimmed it off there carefully to make the heart on the top just look fine. But you could trim it off in other places as well. There's another spot right there. So this is a lot of fun to play with. And then what I did, now I've done a bunch of this just to make it easy. So there's my piece, my bottom section. And then I've taken some of the hearts that I got punched out, and I placed them back into their little openings. Now, how do you get them to stay? Here's the trick. And this is a little laborious, which is why I have done it off camera, so I don't have to do this all in front of you. So I basically took a small mini dimensional, and I straddled the outside edge with the inside heart piece. And I did that in all the spots where I was filling the heart in. So it takes a little time to do this, but it's really super simple. And then in addition, I took some, and I actually, did I do that on the menu? Okay, no, I didn't yet. Okay, talking to myself here. Okay, so then the next thing I did was I added a couple of hearts over the top of some of the ones that are not, that are filled in. Okay, so right, I've actually numbered them just to make this easy for me. So this one, of course, is a solid heart, solid, solid, solid. And I'm going to put another heart on top of each one of those just to get some additional layering and just a range of interest. So I'm going to show you this one. So now this one, actually, I'm going to do the thing that I was just describing. So I'm just sticking it right in there, that spot, so it's loose in there. I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to grab a glue dot, a dimensional, and I have even these little mini dimensionals cut in half in some, because for this you just need to have it be pretty small so it doesn't show up. Let's see, I'm going to use this straight edge. And I actually have a glue dot on the back of that one, so just to make sure that the glue dot doesn't get pressed down, I'm going to take a full-size mini dimensional and place it over the glue dot and also to straddle the other side of that heart. So that's the one that I just did. There you go. Okay, and then on the front side, I've got a few red hearts that, of course, were from when I die cut that. And I'm just going to place those where I have the numbered pieces just to give me some added dimension and interest. Now I could have maybe taken some of the white hearts, but I'm going to have white in the background, so I didn't feel like I needed to add white hearts, but you could. You really could play with this for an endless amount of time. So anyway, it's just pretty simple. And then my layout is also really simple. I think that's why I was attracted to this set of dies, or this die, because it just seemed like it'd be super simple. Okay, so for this one I have used a rectangle stitched framelit, and that's going to be the backing for this, and a real red card base. Got my dimensionals on there already. Has anybody out there bought this hearts detailed die? I have a feeling that it's not the kind of thing that a lot of people will notice, that they're much more inclined to getting the more traditional products from my Heart Suite. In fact, if you get the tutorial bundle, you'll notice that pretty much all the projects, I think, but mine, use the From My Heart stamp set and the punches. There are coordinating punches with that stamp set, a pair of heart punches, which are really cool. And I'm always tempted by punches, but in this case I decided I would do something a little bit different. Okay, so this is going to take me a little while to get all those little dies off, so I'm just going to show you it in process, and then I'll show you my finished project. But I've taken a few of the backings off, so I got to do this where it's going to end up. And then I can just lift it up later and finish it off camera. Okay, so one other detail for this is I stamped this sentiment from the Parisian Beauty set. I think I showed you that a little bit earlier. And this is my latest favorite, all-time favorite sentiment. Follow your heart, it will take you to incredible places. Now, how can you not agree with that? I just love that. Okay, so I stamped it on just a strip of cardstock, and then I did sort of created, what I'm thinking of as like Cupid's arrow. So just trimmed off to make a point on this end, and then on this end did the little, I don't know, what is it called, the banner? The tail, something like that. So really simple. Going up the center with your scissors is always an easier way to get that banner, to get it nice and straight. Okay. And then I just went ahead and attached it right across the front, a little bit towards the top. So this is version 2. I'm going to show you the finished one. That was my version 1. And I could have done a third version, in fact, if I wanted to use the red negative space, this piece right here. But I stopped at 2. So there's my finished project. And of course that'll get assembled. So that's just different color scheme, different layout, but I mean same layout, but slightly different look. So you get the idea. So that's my project. That's going to be for the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle. Okay, so moving right along. These next 2 projects use this little ladybug stamp set. And again, this is a stamp set you can get for free as a hostess during celebration when your party reaches $300 in sales. It's at the back of the celebration brochure, pretty much second to last page. Like I said, when I first saw this, I was like, it's kind of cutesy. I'm not so sure I like it. But I sold myself on it, playing with it. I don't know if that ever happens to you guys. But I'm super excited about these cute little projects that I have to show. Now, one of my missions when I share projects with you from the tutorial bundle is to show you how you can take a project somebody else has created and redesign it to make it your own using the things that you have in your craft room. So this is the design from done by Lee Kaiser, who's one of our design team members. Now, I didn't have any of those images. I didn't have the sentiment, so I had to go a different route. So this is my basic layout, but I went a pretty different direction as far as the stamps because I didn't have the stamps I needed to do it the way she did. So I'm excited to show you what I did because I love how it turned out. And then I'll show you the two side by side. So I think more often than not, we don't have exactly what, you know, the last person had. Whatever inspires us, maybe it's a layout or whatever, but a lot of times I don't have those same exact products. So I just love to take a layout and make it my own with what I have. So I've got a little bit of the From My Heart Designer series paper. This is one of my favorite patterns, but it's specialty paper, so some of the patterns are actually shiny. So, yes, I like version 1.2 better, Sally. I see your comment. I very rarely get to look up, but I just happened to look up and see your comment. And you know, you never know how it's going to look until you put it together, so that I didn't know how the version 2 was going to look, but I do like version 1 better also. Okay, so there's that layer. And then I'm going to go ahead and put on my other pieces. So I've got just a little strip of basic black across the front. Now you can see how this is the basic layout, except for my ribbon there on the bottom, as what Lee did. Different designer paper, but this is what worked for me. And then I've got, I've used my layering circles framelits to cut this out, and then show you guys those. It's my layering circles framelits and my stitched shaped framelits for the inside piece right there. So that's that one. These are the most useful framelits ever, all these circles and squares and stitched ones and all that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach, oh actually no, sorry, got to do some stamping now. All right, so for this piece, it's just on hers, she had her hearts, and I'm sure that's in that from your heart stamp set. Again, didn't have that. So, guess what I'm using? I'm going to use this image, which is actually the first one that I was drawn to in the set. And I don't know what kind of flower that is, but I think it's a really cute little flower. So here's what I'm going to do with my Flirty Flamingo ink. I'm going to stamp that repeatedly in the corner in sort of a similar way, to the extent that an image that's so different can be similar. So I'm doing that one in the center. And then what I'm going to do is I've made a mask for myself. Okay, so I've showed you guys this before. So here's my mask. I basically took some of my art masking tape, which is basically Post-it note paper in a roll that's all tacky. This is the most wonderful stuff. I just love it. And stamped it, of course. And then it was a little laborious to cut it out, but I will use this mask again and again as long as my stem doesn't break, so I have to be real careful with it. So I've stamped my first image in the center strategically, because what I'm going to do, I won't have to move this mask again, because I'm going to stamp it 2 more times, well actually 3 more times, but it's going to overlap a little, and that's going to make it look like I have some foreground and background images. Now, this one I'm not going to overlap. And then I'm going to do another one up here in the corner, and you can see I am overlapping that flower. And then I'm going to remove my mask ever so carefully. And then I sort of have a flower garden, if you will, where that flower looks in behind that one, and that one in behind that one. So kind of cool, I think. And next, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the front. And then I'm going to get to my last little piece, which is going to be an adorable little ladybug. can see I've basically fallen in love with the ladybugs. I used them a little bit on another one of the ladybug images on the 3D project, which will be the last one. So now this one just gets attached here in the corner. And then this one, I'm going to stamp a ladybug. I'm using this little one, which I think is so adorable. And then I'm going to color my ladybug with my Blends alcohol markers. I'm just going to do a little to get it started. I'm using my Smoky Slate alcohol markers, and I'm going to use the gray, and I'm just going to color the whole center in. Actually, I'm not going to do the whole thing. So this is, I'm just going to start with do a little bit of each color. So now for my dark, I'm going to use that in some strategic places where I'm envisioning it might be. And then I'll go back with my light, do some blending. Circular motions can be helpful with the blending. And then I'm going to use my color lifter to do even a little bit more blending. Okay, I'm just doing a little bit of each one. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my real red. Now this is going to get colored in the gray, but you get the idea. And then I'm going to start with my light red, and I'll just do this one side. And I'm pulling in my dark red. And then I would be doing the other side as well to finish it up. Pull in my color lifter. And then I am going to actually take my light gray and fill in the little dots on his back, just for a little bit more shading. Now, I've used a regular Flirty Flamingo marker for the flower, really only because I don't have a blends for it. And it's really small, so it doesn't necessarily need to be blended so much. Okay, what else do I have? So now you can see I'm only partially coloring it, of course, but I am going to use a little red rhinestone in the middle of my flower, just for a little bling, because it's so cute. And then the other thing that I did was I used an aqua painter. Close these all up. To add some sort of cheeks and red lips, if you will, to my little ladybug. So I'm going to just show you the finished product, so I don't have to do all that coloring in front of you. So there's my finished project. So you can see there's the little pale pink. I used Blushing Bride with my aqua painter to get that color in there. I didn't have a marker and I wanted it to be a little bit more subtle. And you can see I've got my shading in my reds and in the gray, and I did do the dark Smoky Slate for his or her feet and hands, just for some contrast with the body. So anyway, I just love how this turned out. I just think it's the cutest little thing ever. I hope you guys do too. So now we get to move on to the project number 3. And this one is actually a 3D item. Just grab my, and actually before I do that, I'm going to show you the comparison. So basically the sort of redesign. So this is what I was working with. didn't have a lot of what I needed for this, including the hearts or the sentiment. So I just kind of took the basic layout and made it my own. So that's just, hopefully that's kind of helpful. Just, I'm sure you guys do that when you do your design. Fill in the ways that you need to make it all come together. Okay, so the next project is this one. And here's the design, and this was done by Vicki Parsons. She's actually a new design team member. And I had the designer paper, but again, I didn't have the punches. I do have the designer paper, but I didn't have the punches or the sentiments, so I had to do my own redo on this one. And also love how this one turned out, because of course I used the ladybugs again. So have any of you guys made this? It's called a sour cream pouch. That's what some people call it. You can use any designer paper for it. And now I'm going to do the reverse side, right? So in the picture, she did this side, and actually I do have a final one that's done with this, but I'm going to do the heart side just to get a little, mix things up a little bit. So I'm going to start with this delightful tag topper. I think I actually have that right and have finally remembered it. And I've just got a piece of cardstock here. I'm pretty sure this is 2 by 3.5 maybe. I can't remember. And I'm just going to stick it into my punch all the way. I find when I use this, it's best if your piece is slightly less than 2 inches, because this well is 2 inches and then 1.5 and then 1. So if it's slightly less, it fits in a little bit better. And this is actually probably straight too, so I've got a little bit of a nub there. Just a little bit too wide, but it's all good. So I am using one of the doilies from the suite, and that's going to be, I'm going to sort of build this here. So I'm going to work on the tag first. I'm using my Memento black ink, and this is where the ladybugs come in, because I'm going to stamp my cute little ladybugs right at the bottom. I just love these little guys. I just think they're the cutest little things. Oh my gosh, it's just killing me. Look how cute they are. They're so cute. Okay, and then I also colored them in, so I have to do that. So I'm just going to make the red a little bit redder, just to make it stand out. And this one is a little bit different from the other version. I'll show you the other version in a minute. So I am, don't usually color on color, but it's pretty, it works. Let's see how the gray shows up. A little bit harder, but it'll do. The other version, the tag is on Fleur de Flamingo. I'll show it to you in a sec. So those show up a little bit better, but it's still pretty cute. Okay, so I'm going to attach my doily to the front. And then I've used my ovals layering dies to create my little sentiment piece. Just sticking that right in the center. And then I have stamped it. You're so sweet. Perfect, right? Could be Valentine's or anything else you want it to be. Lots of sweet people in the world to acknowledge. Okay, and then I'm going to take just a piece of the baker's twine. We'll wait for that for just a second. So now to make the sour cream tube. So this piece measures, I'm trying to remember what it measures. I'll look at my little guide. 4.5 by 6. 6 by 4.5. So you're putting your tear and tape or other strong adhesive on the two 6-inch sides and on one of the other sides. So I'm going to start with making my tube. Now this adhesive is really strong, and when I did it, I used my the first one I did my ATG gun, and I think it's a little bit more forgiving, so hopefully I can do this without, get it to line up perfectly on the first try. So, just overlapping a little, make sure it's square on the edge, and then I should be able to just bring it down to the other edge. There we go. There's my tube. And yes, I haven't taken off the other pieces of the tear and tape, and I kind of did that on purpose because I didn't want it to stick by accident. So I'm just going to pull it off from the inside. It's like a toilet paper roll. You could probably cover a toilet paper roll too and do this. That might be a little bit easier. So now the way that I am going to press this down, I did it in a strategic way so that the you're going to be pressing this way and this way. So I'm going to have the seam just a little bit from the left. I don't want to have it in the middle because then it's going to show up on like the whole thing, like it'll show up no matter how you position it. So here, by having it on the back side here, it's going to be a little bit more hidden. So just press that together, simple as that. And then I'm going to do the opposite, pressing it the opposite way. Just like that. Of course, I would want to put my candy or something inside first, which of course I just forgot to do. But that's okay, because this is just for demonstration purposes. So there's my cute little sour cream pouch. And I like it with the hearts. What do you guys think? I think it's really pretty. Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to punch a little hole right here in the upper corner with my 1/8 inch hole punch. And I'm just going to wind that through and tie a little bow, and I am all done. So let's just do that for the sake of finishing. Now, if I had candy in there, this would be a lot easier to tie because it would be actually anchored down to the table. It's actually floating up. But there we go. So there's my cute little project. There's my scissors. I'm going to show you the other one, which also turned out really cute. Okay, I'm all twisted up. It's this way. Oh my gosh. And I'm doing this live on camera. Shoot. Okay, I just got to trim it off. I can't find where the end is. I am just cracking myself up here. There it is. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. That was too funny. Cracking myself up. Okay, so there you go. There's my little cute little project. So now I'm going to show you the first one, the original one. This is done with the same paper that Vicki used. And of course I did the Flirty Flamingo paper. And you can see that the ladybugs show up quite a bit better on this one. So cute, right? Yes. Cuteness factor. Oh my gosh. It just kills me how I can use something and just fall in love. So I love being creative and creating things, and I love sharing it with you guys too. So thank you so much for letting me show. So much fun. Okay. I'm going to turn the camera around, say a quick goodbye, and let you guys move on with your evening. Okay. Okay, so I hope you guys liked those projects and are inspired to go create your own things, and maybe maybe you like some things you didn't realize you liked, like me. That little darn ladybug set, too cute. Host a party and get it for free. We love that. Free, free, free. So you guys know, of course, it's celebration time. That's why you get it free with your order when you're a hostess between now and March 31st. And as a customer, you get a free thing for every $50 you spend. With no limits. You can spend $900 and get 18 things. Well, if you get level 1 things. And then if you join by the starter kit, there's another great perk for you to join. You get a free stamp set of your choosing in the catalog up to a $45 value, plus a little mini cutter and a designer paper series sampler of 48 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper from 6 different packs of designer series paper. So super awesome. And just as a reminder, February 21st is the magic day to sign up for one of my online clubs. You're not buying anything on that day. All you're doing is filling out the registration form and letting me know that you want to do it. And then all the details for how it all works is on my website, but essentially you place an order within the first 7 days of February. And then you will get the free gift mailed to you with the project kits for the online club for February. So, and the same is true. It works the same way with the Technique Club. If you fill out the registration form, it's a different registration form. And again, I will include a link to both of those club sign-up forms and details on my website, in the Facebook description and the YouTube description. So please feel free to let me know if you have questions. I'm here to help, and I appreciate you being here and supporting me with your attention and your time. So I guess that's pretty much it. I'll be back next Thursday at 7 p.m. as usual with another fun project. I'm like accumulating all these fun projects that I'm gonna have to fit into the schedule to show you guys. And so I'll look forward to seeing you then, or online, or on YouTube, or on Facebook, or anywhere else. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting. Bye.